Hello, and this is Divine Sunshine coming to you with a message just to trying to see what's happening with the collective. I felt like I said I want to kind of check in with the collective and see what is going on here as far as energy wise. Right now it's a lot of, I know, in the feminine energies, really for me, of really establishing and becoming more into the feminine energies of a state of being. Feeling there's a new chapter coming and excited about that, and not knowing. Divine masculine energies is still, I feel, dealing with the understanding that it's time to grow up. I still feel that. And some of them that are really truly feel and know that they're awake. I'm almost being shown like a person, like awakened state. It's like you going to the washroom and it's like, please don't turn on the light, because then that's going to make me wake up, and then I'm going to have to wake up. Although I'm going to the restroom, but I like the lights to turn off so I can go back to a sleeping state. And there, to me, in the masculine energy, is just waiting for somebody to turn on the light and say, wake up. Because it's time. Although you know how to kind of, interested enough, I'm being channeled to know how to eliminate and get rid of or deal with the work, the shadow work that you have to do. Eliminating, you might kind of can do it in the dark, but you really truly, to be able to see what you really got to eliminate, you got to turn the lights on. And you got to see everything. You got to see where the toilet is. Did you aim for the toilet? Not say, I know where it's at, but you know, when you get up, did you really put the toilet paper in the toilet like you thought you did? Or did you miss shoot or misfire where you had eliminated yourself? And how to clean up and wash your hands and stuff, because you might find out that you ran out of soap and you're doing it in the dark. And you know, sometimes you do it, you just like, well, if I just rinse my hands real good, I'm just going to bed, I'm not going to do anything, I'm going to go back to bed, and I'm just going to let it go, and nobody know but just me. And so we're getting now to the point where uh, there's a newness, and the universe is like, no, we're in that Saturn in Aries. You know, I like to hit when the different moons come, and newness coming up, new moon. And we're in that energies with that again. And we know Saturn is a good, one of them good old fashioned 50s dad that's like, no, I'm turning the lights on. You go in there and do the work and make sure, because I'm not going back in the washroom again after you, and I see where you didn't flush the toilet or that you didn't change the roll of toilet paper. You go back in there and you do it. And matter of fact, I'm turning all the lights on. You're like, ah, you're like, I'm awoke now, dang. And so that's kind of where we are. And this is where I'm feeling like the universe is doing with the divine masculine energies. Is anything that you've been trying to kind of get away with. That's really unbeknownst. I remember the story that K Moon had did that's hurting you on the sly. And, you know, again, the story about Saturn and how that came about, and how he got the bad rap of helping out another, and then really was helping because, again, it was painting another with the things that was being done. And so my thing is understanding it's a deeper reason why Saturn is doing these lessons, or making us sure that we are really doing it. They say, I know I read one of the I'm not an astrologist or astrologer at all, but they were saying it again, and it's kind of hard when Saturn is ruling into Aries like that. It's kind of hard because Aries want to go go go, and it's pretty much a really like, no, slow down, make sure you got it. That's the same thing like I'm saying, that feeling about going to the washroom, and eliminated like, no, go back. And everything's a slow mo. Look around, inspect, make sure that what you're learning of how to eliminate things in the shadows that you've got to learn, and the shadow work that you've got to deal with, you are really actually dealing with it as well. And you know, this is where it is. No more getting away with, I'm feeling my way around, being in the alpha state, whereas like I'm conscious, but I could go right back to sleep at any time. This is what I'm being channeled and showing, is that in the masculine energies is like in that alpha state, but I can go back to sleep if I wanted to. And this is where again the masculine, divine masculine, becoming into divine masculinity has got to really deal with. It's really at this fork of the road. It really truly picking like, hey, no, okay, you didn't turn the lights on, Saturn, Dad, universe. Let me go ahead and just go ahead and do this work with that, and I'll catch up on my sleep later on. I'm awoke now, so let me go ahead and catch up on some things that I need to. So let's go ahead and let's get some verification from the cards to let know about what is happening and going on. But like I said, divine feminine energies, I know that even for myself, divine feminine energies is like, no, you gotta kind of clear. You gotta do the work on your own. Again, let's just go on. I'm really trying to heal being the feminine energies, and if we're talking about somebody who really feels like they resonate in the masculine energies, that's really what they are going on, and the universe turning on the light and say you got to start deal with it. Changes. So we got right now changes that's going on in the collective is a decision that's got to be made. Okay, where is it at? Because we on this one, it's kind of decisions and finances. Okay. Now, finances to me is again is a tangible way of they're talking about love in money. Finances, I just learned from watching the video, was saying that again, finances and money is masculine energies. And in order for us to be able to attract money like that, we've got to move into our feminine energies, which is again to receive it. So right now we've got some decisions to make, whether it is career wise or anything that has to do with financially, as far as how is it that we're going to really be starting to, like I say, deal with the healing of the divine feminine energies, because the state of being is really, I want to say attack, but I wouldn't say attack, but it's really the center of our focus and attention right now that is needed because of the masculine energies. And we got these Aries, what you're saying, energies that we are, that Saturn is in there. It's like, how are we moving that our state of being, who we are showing up, is really being true to form as to who we are, how we are showing up in the world, how we're standing in our power, how are we being as a person. Some of it because it is also affecting our finances. And again, when your finances is not where it should be, you find yourself really, to me, and I've seen that in friends, in people around me, and even in myself, I would say, as well, but I'm pretty much trying to make myself more conscious about that, is that when you find yourself having financial issues, you see yourself being a slave to anything. You go into that survival mode, and you find yourself almost kind of selling yourself out. Fear, selling yourself short, really not being able to be in contact or really open to something. It's really at those times when you have that, is to take that energies and to alchemize it and make it work to your benefit. It's like, okay, how can I be utilized at that time so I can be able to receive the things that I need. It keeps on saying about investment. Finances is also investment. So it could be, again, time can be your currency. Love can be your currency. Your way you communicate is your currency. How you're exchanging energies can be your currency. So right now it's like, again, how are you communicating things when it comes to finances? Do you find yourself people pleasing because you're like, well, any way I can make a buck? Do you find yourself making broken promises because you're like, hey, I just really need this money? And it's really got to me, I'm seeing in this wings, in order for you to be able to evolve and elevate and go to the next level, things has got to become very black and white. A lot of times when people are in financial issues, having that to me, the lines get real muddy. It gets very gray. And gray becomes an option, and it really isn't any grayness to it. It's either you promise you can pay somebody back or you can't, or you need to be honest. Say, let's say I need the money, but I can't pay you back. But a lot of times you find yourself kind of dancing to other people's tune. And to me, again, it worries back to you as far as your work for your divine feminine energies, is you're standing in it, as far as your integrity and fidelity. Is starting to, because and now, so that's why I say it's moving you into a decision. So there's some things about people's finances too. That's one way. Another thing is finances is about you career changing, and that career change could be dealt with something that has been communicated to you, somebody saying something to you, something you read, you seen, and you like, you know what, I think it's time. Because finances right now is a very big thing, and you can see that collectively in the world too as well. And we feel some decisions. I'm seeing this orange here, which means again we got some decisions about how we have healthy relationships, and we have to have decisions that we make it collectively as far as how we are making things manifest in the world, because that's going to help us to get into our solar plexus as well, and into the spirit of things. So there's some decisions being made here, and I'm seeing a lot of white here, which is a lot of spirit, and I see green, which is matters of the heart. And where we are, we are moving into really following the desires of our heart. Where is it taking us? I see this pink here, which is bliss. Where is it that we're going into, that we're going to find bliss in what we're doing? Because I know I worked with a young lady, and she was telling my girls that, the old adage that, again, if you do something that you love, you find yourself not working a day in your life. It's not like it's work you have to do. And so, clear. Let's see what is the lessons that's being brought to us right now. So we know there's some decisions, and some of these decisions are being brought on because our finances is also being brought about how we feel and our feminine energies, our state of being. Are we really being true to the things that are the matters of our heart, collectively? And this is where we are. So we're learning right now in our soul's journey is acceptance. I am learning to accept the things that I cannot change, which is peace. And I see that even with myself, just looking and to see things that really are truly bringing me peace. And it's just like, okay, if you find yourself kind of going into the old cycles of the old you that you have evolved from, you kind of really checking yourself to say, okay, is this really, that's where decisions come in. You're deciding, is this bringing me peace, or is this going back to me coming out of peace? Okay. And I'm seeing the color purple here, which again is those downloads, being in touch with in the universe as well, finding courage to find yourself doing the things that, again, to either say no or to be able to keep that peace. So I find the inner strength to face fear with confidence. Even when we talk about making these decisions, the lesson here, why right now there is changes in your decision making or how you're doing things now, is because you're finding you're getting in touch with that courage. You're moving into the energies of courage, having courage, how to say no, not to people please, how to put boundaries up, how to, again, really say, you know what, this really is not feeling like this is alignment of what my heart and who I am. And I'm going to have to let this go. So that, again, is the finances. Again, what am I finding myself investing into? What do I want to find myself investing into? The journey right now for us collectively is relationships. I am attracted to those people who serve my higher good. You are now, again, like I said, you're making decisions about people who are, again, you are connected to energy wise. Seeing, is there really a sense of trade going on? I know somebody said we might be moving into the system of barter and moving more so out of the money. That's energetically wise when we talk about the age of Aquarius, something out of the box. But I would say also, if we are moving into that next dimension of the new world thing, we are really looking for people who really trade. It's no more I pour into you and this I get nothing in return. To me, when you're talking about that, that's kind of the old templating, the old matrix of things, old belief systems and ideology where, yeah, I just give because it just, that was what Jesus would do. And I just give because of, again, what pushes us through, whether it be religion or just people's just old adages that has been passed on. And so we're finding out again that some of these things are just pouring into people is not really for our highest good. We find ourselves having and being on the shortest end of the stick with that. Or we really find ourselves that, like the other saying is, if we're the smartest person in the room, we need to change rooms. Because again, we're not learning, we're staying stagnant. And that goes back to that opening where I talked about being relief and being in the restroom, and Saturn being that adult when you go in there and say, let's see, I'm turning on all the lights because I don't want you to mess up this washroom like you did last time. Uh, and so this is what, again, it is. We find ourselves, life is, the universe is doing that to us, but we find ourselves even doing that to other people. It's like, you did that last time. No, you can't come here again. Like one of my person had told me, say, you best believe it. It happened to me one time, but guess what? I ain't gonna be stepping in that same place in the river twice. So again, that is something that we really are, we need that for the next level that we're going to. And plus, on all of the trends that I'm seeing and hearing, all of them, everybody is saying, is that, again, the universe is saying we got new chapters, and where we're going, we cannot bring that same energy with us. And if we have friends, nothing like friends and families that knows us well, they have no problem in pushing those buttons to keep us back into that old templating or old ways of doing things. uh, the universe is going to find a way to say, again, either you're going to learn how to be immune to what they're doing, or you're going to have to find a way in which we are going to remove you from the situation. Because again, where you're going, that consciousness, whatever state of consciousness that that person puts you back into, you can't have that where you're going. And so this is where we are with that. We're dealing with denials. We're moving into denials of understanding. I acknowledge my fear, but I replace it with the insight of awareness. It's no more, again, like I said, keeping the light off in the restroom. Saturn is going to be that adult that turns on all the lights and say, hey, what's going on in here? And again, there's no room for denial, because denial, you can't grow. You're just sitting in and putting it underneath the rug and let it constantly grow, grow, grow. And that's not, no one can benefit from that. We have to learn from our trial and errors, which we all don't like. But again, when you're denying it, you're not really dealing with it. That's just like somebody got shot and say, somebody said, oh my God, you're bleeding. That's a hole in your arm. And you're like, no, I'm all right. I'm all right. It's just a little bit. I just put a little hydrogen peroxide and a Band-Aid on, and I'll be good. And they like, you sure? Yeah. And, and it's like, but you don't look good. You're like sweating. You look like you're losing your color. You look like you're about to faint. And you're like, no, I'm all right. And so we don't want to spiritually, while we're doing the things, the work that we pretty much at this point that we're in the denial. And collectively, what I'm picking and I'm sensing in some of the divine masculine energies, as well, there is a sense of denial of wanting to buck back and not really consider the changes that they said, or that needs to occur and happen. And then there's death. I told you that on all of everybody's been talking about, I am learning that endings are merely beginnings. We all can feel, and I definitely would say, in the feminine energies, definitely a state of a newness, a new beginning, and a new chapter. And we know in order to get anything new, something has got to end. For anything to begin, there's got to be an ending. Otherwise, you'll find yourself staying in the same state. And so there is a depth to a lot of things, especially when we talk about this decision that we have to make. Either somebody's going to be disappointed. Again, this is what's going on, and Saturn is there to, again, help you to really make that decision. when we talk about finances, something about our habits and the things that we're doing, we've got to put to an end. Looking out and putting other people's needs before us. Got to put it in. Spending, those things got to be put to end. Things you've seen on YouTube. Oh, I got to have this. I got to have this. Unless you really say, oh my God, I've been looking for some product like that. I need that because that's going to benefit me. I mean, you got to go down the line as to why you feel that you have to, that it's not an impulsive. Some things that we've got to learn again when we talk about finances. Some of them I would feel that say I'm being pushed to say it's the impulsiveness, the not thought process. Like they say, decisions. Are you really making good decision making skills, not off of impulse as well? That is something that we have to deal with. So those are the lessons that we're learning here as well. I mean, yes, the learning lessons that we're learning here as well. The shadow work in which we need to concentrate on as far as collectively to help us to get out of this is we alone in the world. And I have seen this in all of the videos that have pretty much come across, or I see on YouTube timeline, because I'm the TMZ. I look at things that run across that kind of resonates with me, and I was like, Spirit might say, watch that, that's got good information, or watch that, or whatever. And I remember somebody was like that. Why are you watching other people? He said, and it's not putting me down for my gift or whatever, because we all can learn. I'm just a person who's always been a person that's like an information seeker. I'm looking for trends. I can tell like, that aligns with what I was just getting channeled with myself. So it's nothing. I've seen even top James Von Prague and everybody else that watches others. So I'm not going to go along with that thought with someone saying, why are you watching others? Because we all can learn from somebody. And all of them are saying again that this, like, you are not alone. Stop it. Stop saying you're by yourself. You're not alone. You are not alone. You'll see a lot of things in life that will come to you that will remind you you're not alone. You have, even if you have pets or people living with you or friends or things of that nature, you'll notice that even when you're at your lowest moment, a phone call would come, somebody would come talk to you. That's the universe's way of telling you that you're saying you're not alone as well. And not even, you have your angels, your guides, your ancestors. A lot of us think that we kind of out here doing by ourselves, and a lot of times either our ancestors or again God has sent us into different things and situations so that we can be able to be a ambassador if you want to, or to be used by that. But everything that we do, we are not alone in this thing in the world. And this is something that again we've got to work on. Like, we the only ones that's experienced this. Are we the only ones that has this happening? And sometimes we have even parents, sorry to say, that do semi-gaslight some of us in thinking that, you the only one, you're the only ones that's sensitive, or you the only ones that's going through all that stuff. And that's simply not true as well. And so you find yourself that you feel like everybody's looking at you as you're trying out new things, as you are trying on these new identities, whoever you are. And so then, you have to remember that, again, no one else is trying. Nobody else knows what's best for you. No one else knows what it is that is needed. There is, the universe created you the way you are because it is, you just need it. Some, now I've heard also, are in this, what they call it, hermit mode, because you right now don't need to be around a lot of energies because you are in the process of trying on a lot of identities and things. And until you settle, it's like a person say, it's not time for you to be premiered yet. And so right now, that is something that the shadow you're working on, because you're really working on healing yourself, knowing who you are in your feminine energies, how you showing up in the world as a feminine in your state of being. And so right now, while you're trying on these different identities, you don't need to go out and hang out with old people that kind of sway you back to the old ways or vice versa. And so this might be, again, as I'm pulling this card and get pulled another way, with this the fork in the road, because I see pillars here, because you're really getting a new foundation to things. And in these new foundations, I see stairs there where you are, is it stairs? Where you are now elevating to a new level. And so right now at the heart of things, it might feel like you are very vulnerable, very naked to the world, very raw, very vulnerable, because again, there's this newness coming here, these new beginnings. There's this death that's coming. And so at this time, yes, the shadow work that you've got to work on has to be done alone, has to be done in isolation. So if you find yourself separated from the one, whoever it is at this time, is because, again, the universe says, this is like incubation. You hear people, even when they're going to go think and create some things, they're like, I got to go down to the lab, or I'm going here to think, or I'm doing X, Y, and Z. And a lot of times they have to do that. Even Batman, I'm going to the Bat Cave, had to go think and get themselves together to whatever new creation that they're coming up with. This is what's going on now with you, because right now, collectively, those of you that's watching and you found this, is because you are destined, the destiny that you're working, or the destination that you are going to next. Too many cards. Thank you. Is relaxation. You've done the work, and now let's just go ahead and just regain more knowledge right where you are. Learn how to be more so in the flow of your intuition, your awareness, and again, leaving the illusions of things going on. And again, just he's not asleep. Now that ain't sleep. That's relaxed. Being in an awakened state and getting knowledge by being relaxed. Okay. And then also your destination is to move into being more focused. I'm seeing this leopard, or this snow leopard out here again in the wild, with the mountain and the snow. Still are precipitation, and we know mountains can be some challenges, but I'm seeing the challenges is in the past, and learning how to maneuver into that. Wintertime is, again, when things kind of are frozen, not much movement in it. You think about hibernation, going back to sleep again as well. But this one is, this animal, the leopard, is awake more so. It has a lot of movement. So again, being able to be in focus, but like look at things that seem like it's not much movement going on, but then that you have the ability to be able to move from one thing to another because of the things that happened in the past, which is the mountain. And know that you are protected. That to me is divine protection. As well when I see that card. So again, like say that you're not alone, because why Spirit wants to get you by yourself is so that you in the universe of consciousness can be able to work together to be able for you to be able to really see what's going on. So what is some advice that they have for you to do specifically, collective? What is it that we have to do? Okay. All right. I don't know. That's it. To move through fear. Because at first I was going to leave it alone. I said, no, take that. You need to move through fear. Feel the fear and keep on doing it anyway. Because on the other side of the fear is where you're supposed to be. Okay? Release and surrender. Okay? All this is in your feminine energy. So again, still your state of being, how you find your own identity, trying on these new ways about who you are, how you showing up in the world as you. Again, just go on. You're like, who is this new person? Who's that? You might turn up and be one person one day, and then don't even feel bad if sometimes you kind of go back to your old ways or whatever like that. You're like, okay. because you're, to me, they say you're calibrating, you're finding your altitude. That same thing, just like when the rocket is climbing or airplane, you know, sometimes it drops down and it goes higher and higher. It takes some time for it to really find where is that sweet spot, so we can just coast and do. And so while you're doing that, just in your feminine energy, they say find your joy. Always stay in high vibration, because you don't want to stay in a place that's just low vibration, because you attract more of those things and situations that come your way. So make sure that you stay into that high vibe energy. Change directions, direction and change. And so this is the hangman card, if you would say, in tarot. And so this to me is standing still but getting a new perspective. The universe is asking for us to not have all that kind of movement as well, to really go back and really take introspect and see, are you really doing the work to release? That's what's going by that analogy you showed me at the beginning about using that washroom. Yeah, you're doing it, but you're doing it in the dark, in your divine masculine energies. And part of it is, again, if you really truly feel like you're resonating it more in your masculine energies, you're not really getting to the bottom of it and really looking at everything that needs to actually change. It's time for you to really look at it instead of eyes wide shut. You need to really actually open up your eyes and really actually see everything in your surroundings and what you're using in order to create or heal or create this cleanse. You need to also listen, okay? And it say listen so you can be able to get the downloads and the information from the universe, divine feminine energies. To me, all I see is feminine, feminine, feminine. I did not see any masculine energies that's being utilized in here. So right now, the focus is the drive for us collectively is the feminine energies. Let the feminine energies take the lead, because again, like I said, there's something in the divine masculine energies that's, rather if you're male or female or whatever, is still not wanting to fully awaken to do the work. And we have been on this, like I said, this fence hopping or straddling the fence. And those are there that really say, I'm really identify in my masculine energies. There has been an issue with really pushing and going through. And so I know one of them was saying again that they had not, they're awakened, but they're kind of fighting awakeness, and they're at the point where it's like, I know what I got to do, but the issue is now I got a lot that I've got to sacrifice in order to do and go after my heart. And that's the same thing, right? You identify fully as a masculine energies or fully as a female energies, or you like me, I'm take both of them. And I would say it is, you saying it's a lot to sacrifice, but at the same time, you can feel within yourself that this new chapter is going to make it worth it to make this jump. But again, it's like you got other people around you. That's what it was saying. Watch the people around you in your circle, because some of them are like the rocket. They're holding you down. They're extra weight. And it's either you're going to have to say, hey, you're getting with the program, or you're going to get left behind, or the universe is going to find a way to to separate you anyway, because this is the universe. So consciousness wants me to go into this direction, wants to use me for this. And again, if you're not with me, then according to the universe, you're against me. And so again, that's not of my highest good. Okay. So I'm gonna stop right there because it's at 33. But I wanted to come on and just really lay that on you. But that's interesting about that. Going right now is like going to the washroom and do not want to turn on the lights. And the universe is like, it's time to turn the lights on. It's time for you to see everything that's in the rest, especially with the Saturn energy, so you can actually see what's all going on. Did you take care and eliminate everything that you needed to, or did you miss a spot? Okay. All right, then. Until next time, stay lifted, stay motivated, stay ascending. Namaste and Namago. Love you. Until next time.